Welcome to the Early Night Show with Anway Pramanik.
Hello and welcome. What an episode this one promises to be. That much I can assure you. And I know that for a fact because I wanted to record this yesterday. But I took a break yesterday, so I literally couldn't go to sleep. And I didn't reward myself with that Snicker bar just because I didn't record my podcast. So I'm gonna take a sip of water. Cheers to everyone who's joined me. This one's gonna be a slightly long one, so I'd recommend you get yourself the munchies. I'm gonna roll up your joint right now, take a bong hit right now, hit the bed right now, whatever it is you want to do, or at least use the next 1 minute or 2 minutes that I'm gonna be rambling to get those things ready bedside. Chai chillam chapati. I just came back from a basketball practice, did 100 hoops, 100 shots, 99% of them missed. But at least now I understand why I'm missing those 99%, so that's progress. Probably tomorrow it'll be 98% of them I'll miss, then 97, and so on and so forth. I'm gonna get directly to the point. I love women. I mean, not to say that, you must be like, oh, you're a guy, of course you love women. Not that way. I mean, like there are some people who say, I love Man United, I love gaming, I love this, I love that. For me, I love women. And I think I've always loved having the presence of a woman in my life. Always. I love the whole dance that you do with a woman, the whole process that leads to the development of intimacy between me and that woman. I love that whole seduction process, like that dance between the both of us, dance of energies. I love how as a man, I can experience myself or my masculinity that much better when I'm with a woman. I love the idea that I was born as a man. Not because I think men are superior or anything like that, but that because I was born as a man, I can experience the beauty of what a woman is from the polar opposite side. Their energy, a woman's energy, her desires, that automatic caring, intrinsically caring nature. I love how that it always brings out the best in me. Always. It's always inspired me and always given me the space to be the best. And at the time you have these extremely negative, pessimistic women tied up in their cocoons. They don't mean to be hurtful. They don't mean to be what they are, but they are a result of their circumstance. So I love the process of dancing with them and unfolding that bullshit out of their lives, and that gives me a lot of understanding to unfold my own bullshit. Now, I think I truly started appreciating women when I got introduced to this person known as Alex Lazarev, who I've always considered as, if I'm Eklavya, he's my Dronacharya. I'm not the Arjuna, I'm the Eklavya. I've never trained with him one on one, but I've fed off his information and his life experiences. He's untapped that helpless romantic in me, like that lover boy in me. He's tapped into that, like sucked it out of me. Just watching him, hearing him, talking to him. And he's made me realize that being with a woman is as much surrendering yourself as it is asking them to surrender to you. As much surrendering as much as it is dominating. Bunch of things that I learned from him. That is, you can openly talk to any woman out there in the world. Like, we all have this, like, I'm dedicating this podcast to every guy or every lesbian or every bisexual woman who listens to me. This is a dedication to you. So I want to tell you that till today, no one's been able to prove me wrong on this. Till today. And because of that, I think I've realized that what I've learned from Sasha is an absolute truth, because it's built on life experiences, psychology, spirituality, and obviously the whole anthropological side of human development. So the first one is that you can openly talk to any woman, right? They literally want you, if you're attractive enough, you don't even have to look like Hrithik Roshan, but if you are well groomed enough, they will want you to come and talk to them. They want you to say hello to them. If you've ever realized that a woman has come standing next to you, or she's uncomfortable next to you, it's because she wants you to break the ice. She wants you to say, "Hi, what's your name? I'm Anway." Second thing that he's taught me is that you can directly express your interest in the other woman without having to do any indirect shit like saving her or being a superhero or anything. You can just directly be a random guy who walks up to her. The understanding is how to not be creepy and how to have a comfortable energy so that she feels comfortable around you. If you can master that, you can directly talk to any fucking woman out there. Then is, how a lot of these Hollywood propaganda says that, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, they don't understand each other. I think it's the exact opposite. Because we are so distinct, we understand each other that much better. And through understanding of behavioral psychology and social dynamics and evolutionary dynamics, it's very easy to understand how either sex thinks. And I think another thing that he's taught me, the fourth thing is that every woman out there, every heterosexual woman out there, I love heterosexual women. I'm talking like when I started this saying I love women, I love heterosexual women. All heterosexual women are waiting for that right guy. They are waiting for that right guy to come and, ask them out, to build a family with. They see a future or a vision with them. It's the natural evolutionary selection process, right? The next thing that he taught me is, and I usually don't publicly talk about this, but it's a fact. I mean, there's no one who can deny this, and I'm going to tell you exactly why, is that women are actually given that at any given point of time, if a woman and a man are aroused, the woman is likely to be more aroused than the man, or the woman is likely to experience intimate physical arousal much more intensely than the man. I mean, like the tip of the penis, right? I mean, if you think about it, it's probably as big as if you take your index and your middle finger right now and you fold it and you put them together and you fold it, right? The tip, it's as big as that. Now, the tip of our penis is the most sensitive part of our sex organ, apart from the, what is that thing called, the that that thing between the ass and the balls, epinium or something like that. I forgot what it's called. Apart from that, it's the tip of our penis. And the tip of the penis has, I think, somewhere around 10,000 nerve endings. Somewhere less than that, I think. I'm not sure. Then you compare it to a clitoris, right? You take your little finger, don't fold it, just look at the tip of your little finger. That's how big the biggest clitoris is. So you can imagine how small the smallest clitoris must be, right? That surface area has somewhere around 1 million nerve endings. It's meant to experience physical sensual pleasure. I mean, it's designed for that purpose. So you're telling me that, yeah, of course, while we men have the phallic sexual organ, a small just the clitoris itself has probably 10 times more ability to receive pleasure than the entirety of my penis and my balls. And this is not even considering the vagina. I mean, the lips and the pussy and the inside of it. I don't care if this is making people uncomfortable. I think the reason I'm fucking doing this podcast is because in the last 1.5 years, I've become very uncomfortable with my own sexuality, and I have no idea why that's happened. I mean, I do have an idea of why that's happened, but I would not want to talk about that right now because it's something I'm unfolding myself. But before this, I mean, for the people, again, I don't want to brag as much as I do want to brag. But the truth is that, I mean, I've got my notebook in front of me, and I was just, I mean, for all of y'all who know, I journal and I reflect on my thoughts by writing it down. I've got like 40 anecdotes of different insane dates that I've been on, insane experiences that I've had with women of all different age groups, different characters, different personalities. And at any given point of time, right now, I still have open love for them. There's no hate, there's no disrespect, there's no disdain. I mean, I'm pretty sure most 90% of them hate me or don't even remember me or don't want to talk to me anymore. But from my end, it's still the same amount of love. I don't know, it sounds very soppy to say these things, but listening to Sasha 5 years ago, it truly set me on a journey. And yeah, sure, it's going to sound a very, very intense things I'm going to talk about in the next 25 minutes. But it's all the truth. And I'm doing this more for myself than for anyone else. Because I think that I've been ashamed of these things. I have no idea why. I mean, yes, I do have an idea why it's happened in the last 1.5 years. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the other person. With any other person, it has only to do with me. So if you're thinking right now, some bad breakup or something, none of that. All my breakups have been beautiful. It's been transcendental. All of them. Again, at least for me, I'm pretty sure the other person's probably not felt the same way, but that's another topic. I mean, and the best part is, like, most of the times, it's always been like, okay, we've got to stop, and we realize we don't need to have like a label or anything between us. But the moment we meet again, it's going to be like we were just in bed yesterday. So that's the beauty of it. I mean, that's what I love the most. It feels like just yesterday we were hanging out. Right? And a lot of these women are like married right now. They're literally married. So that's another weird thing. But still, like I said, open love from my end, always. Anyways, now I'm gonna just dive into these stories. I'm not gonna take the names of anyone. I'm gonna mention a time frame when it happened to me, what I was like back then, and what a learning was. So, for all of you gentlemen who have ever asked yourselves, can I have a girlfriend? Can I talk to multiple women? Am I supposed to have only one girlfriend? Am I supposed to get married as soon as I meet the woman? Never get married to the first woman you have sex with. I'll repeat that again. Never get married to the first woman you have sex with. And always remember that if you think you've met the one, there's another woman out there who far surpasses this woman in those same things that make you consider her the one. There's 8 billion people on this planet. 8 billion. On an average, most of us meet maybe 2,000 of them. So, don't let anyone ever tell you that you need to have a relationship only in one way. Like, boyfriend, girlfriend, has to go to marriage, has to have kids, blah, 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 blah. Don't let anyone ever tell you that. Explore your relationships in your own way. Boy, girl, doesn't matter who you are. So the two things that used to really make me very afraid of talking to women is I had this fear of being rejected. I'll talk to them nicely and they'll be like, fuck off. And the second thing is that I feel like I'm not as good looking as a lot of men that I know. Two things that really fuck with me. But despite this, all thanks to Sasha, to be able to, Alex, his other name is Sasha. I mean, Alex is the American anglicized version of Sasha, which is a Russian name. Things that Sasha taught me have made me realize that, seduction, it's not just you go to a nightclub and you see a woman and you get her into bed or take her to bed. It's you're at the airport and at the ticket counter there's a lady. How do you talk to her and make sure that you probably get 10 kg, like 2 kgs of extra baggage, or maybe you get a free meal or in the flight, or maybe you get an upgrade? That is also seduction. Or how do you make sure that you get the seat that you want, even though she's not giving anyone else? Like a woman in any situation, without it getting even sexual, as long as you're able to show her your side of the story and influence her to do something that you'd like. Again, it has to be nothing sexual, nothing physical, nothing intimate, nothing romantic. It can even be a librarian who's not giving you a book, but you convince her, please, I've fucking come from MG Road, it's 40 kilometers away by myself. My parents don't know I'm here. I've come just to take this magazine. Please give it to me. Please give me that. And then you get it. Or something as simple as, going to a bakery and asking the lady where she gets her cheesecake and going to the source of that cheesecake because of the way you talk to her. All of this is seduction. But I'm going to quite specifically talk about the romantic, sexual, and intimate seductions that I've had. All the women, without taking names, so that if you're listening to this, a lot of you do listen to this. I've seen your views on my stories. If you are listening to this, then I hope you're well. I really do. Anyways, first one that I'm going to talk about is, I still remember just when I was 9, just starting off with this whole seduction pickup thing. I was in Kamanali, I think, or Brigade Road. I don't remember where this is. I'm walking and this beautiful European lady in a black salwar kameez passes by. I know she's European for a fact because you look at a Baltic woman, like a Ukrainian Baltic woman, and you know that's like her. I walked for like 2 minutes and I'm like, fuck, I want to just go talk to her, say hi. I literally jog back, see her, and I go and I talk to her. And I say, hi, name's Anway. This was when I was starting out. I had no idea of dynamics, how to build situation, nothing, none of these things. I didn't have any game. But the reason I still remember this is because of the fucking balls it took for me to do that. In front of everyone, can you imagine? There's a bunch of people and then getting rejected, like her walking off. The reason I remember this is because I think it's after that I realized it's these moments that make you really amazing. I mean, as a person, it makes you really, really unafraid of doing whatever the fuck, you know. Second one was, I remember I was with my friend Preetham in the bus, Volvo, normal BMTC bus, going somewhere. And this cute girl gets in from the the ladies' compartment in front. Immediately I get up from my seat, I walk and I start chatting her up. And I think she freaked out a little bit because, there were a bunch of women around and I'm like, hi, what's your name? My name's Anway. I saw you getting up. Again, this was the beginning when I had absolutely no game. Then I realized, it was understanding what the fuck situation you were in. Same, I've had another situation with another lady in the bus. Maybe this is 3 years after, maybe 2 years after. She's gotten married recently. She was a stylist, I think. Stylist or something like that. I still remember, it's the Volvo bus, and the Volvo has this middle section. She was standing there, super fucking crowded, okay? And I'm standing in the aisle behind. I'm standing there, it's fucking crowded. I look at her, we're making eye contact for like 1 good 2 minutes. She's fucking like looking at me, like, it felt really good. Like, it really made me feel like a lion, she felt like a lioness. I felt like a lion and I wanted to eat her up. Anyway, so I still remember this. I looked at her. Preetham knows this. This used to be my technique. I'd look at them with my finger. I'd point at them with my finger. And then, I'll call them with my finger, like that. Idhar aao, kind of a finger gesture I would do. They would freak out, like, what the fuck, you're literally calling me? And I'm like, yeah, come. She came and we were talking for like a good 15-20 minutes. And best part is, she told me then that I was in the bus with her the previous day, and she got off and like one stop before me. But when I walked down to my apartment, she was with her dad in a scooter, and they passed by me and she was checking me out. So, see the difference in game, right? We hung out like 3-4 times after that. This difference in game you see, right? First time in the bus, I didn't have absolutely any idea how to make a girl feel comfortable. Yeah, obviously in this case, she was a little bit more brazen. So it worked out. Third one is, I think the next one is one of my favorites. This is a story of this one time I was, we were having a class meeting, a college reunion kind of a thing at a restaurant in... what is that road opposite Bishop Cotton Girls' back wall? I forgot what that is, Infantry or whatever fucking road that is. So me and a friend of mine, before we went to that restaurant, we thought we'll take a walk and we'd go to another cafe and meet the owner of the cafe, who was a friend. Much older lady. Sidewalk Cafe, I think that's the name of that cafe. So we go to Sidewalk, the lady is not there. So I'm like, dude, I want to use the restroom. Come, let's go use the restroom and like just freshen up before our party. So we go up. As I go up, I see this skinny blonde chick. Fuck, like she looked like a proper, one of those Levi's magazine models, like Indian girl, the brown skin. Stunning. She looked like a piece of, like when you order a thick shake, they top that off with like this piece of Ferrero Rocher, and that's what makes you look at it and you're like, I want to devour it. She looked like that. She looked really tasty. So the next thing that I did is I just went and I sat down on the chair next to her and I started talking. I'm like, I still remember, I remember telling her, the moment I look at you, I feel extreme intimacy and arousal, but at the same time I feel extreme pain and sadness. Because when I look at your body, I feel great. When I look at your eyes, I feel fucked up for some reason. She didn't talk. She didn't look back at me. And my friend Adi was with me. Adi, you'll remember this one. uh, she was there, and we were talking. And then Adi comes out of the washroom. He's like, "Macha, done?" I'm like, no, carry on. You go. I'll see you there. And then this lady, she wasn't giving me a lot of. She wasn't reciprocating my energy, you know. She was talking to me, yeah, but I'm like, cool, maybe she's not interested in me at all. So I take a fry and a chip and I walk away. Then we're having the class reunion. I think 1 hour, 1.5 hours go by. And I'm sitting. This was a cafe in that same sidewalk road, which was downstairs. I forgot the name. Some Tarbi, Farzi. I forgot the name, dude. It's ages ago. So I still remember I'm sitting on a table, which is looking at the entrance, the stairs that comes down. And I see her fucking walking down, and she walks towards me, my table, and she goes, "You should try the cheesecake here. It's really nice." I don't know. Maybe I was too egotistic. Maybe I don't know what the fuck feeling. I'm like, cool. I didn't give her any attention, and she walked off. And all my friends are looking at me like, "You loser, go fucking talk to her, dad." Eh? And I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to her. No, I don't want to talk to her. She's not my type. Whatever. For the next 1 month, I think this is when I was still in college, I think. I don't remember, okay, when this was. Every single one of my college mates started calling her Blondie. And they knew that the next day it struck me that, fuck macha, this chick made the effort to come and talk to me, and I gave her the cold shoulder. I should have hung out with her. Maybe I should have told my friends, bye guys. Taken her out and like made sweet love with that cheesecake, man. I mean, her and that cheesecake, you know, like drizzled it all over her. Anyways, let's not get into that. So they started calling her Blondie. And I was so depressed for a month. I think 2 months. I was so depressed. I was like, shit. Then a month later, I'm browsing my Instagram, and a friend of mine, his feed shows up. And I drop my phone and I scream, because in that feed, it's him and it's her. And for that entire month, I spent so much time looking for her. Oh, man. Not in a creepy way. Maybe it might have been a little creepy, but fuck, I knew it. That if we'd meet again, it would just rock out. But we never did. It never worked out. I think I connected with her, but over chat, I suck at chatting and talking to people on chat, because I'm feeling 50 things and I can chat only like half a thing. So I hate chatting. Anyways, didn't work out. She was amazing. Sending you all my love. If you're listening to this, or if you're out there by yourself, I know you've been through a lot of shit. I really just hope what's best for you. Next one is fuck. I can't believe it. I've got to go through 40 of these. Maybe I should make this a 2-part one. Maybe a 2-part podcast. I think that would make a lot of sense. So I'm going to go through 5 more, 10 more. And then the next one is just going to jump through. I'm not going to give an introduction or anything. I'm just going to go through each of them. The next one is my first fuck buddy in life. She was much older than me. When I was in college, she was doing her master's. I lived very far off. That's the only reason we met maybe thrice or 4 times in maybe once in 2 months is I guess how much we'd meet. And I lost my septum piercing also at her place while I was with her. Doing exactly what you guys are thinking about. So I still remember how I met her was we connected over a band, a Bombay-based band. She was, I think, a groupie. I'm not sure. I don't want to judge. But I think she was a groupie at that point of time. And I was also a metalhead guitar player at that point of time. And she just moved to Bangalore from Bombay. She thought, like, I'm part of the scene and stuff like that. I still remember I was playing a gig with my band at Garage Jam. There were like a lot of fucking people for that gig. That was the best gig that we've had. Gaurav Basu showed up. I still remember this. The Inner Sanctum guys had shown up. The Gin and Miskatonic guys had shown up. The Dwesha guys had shown up. Fuck, for our gig, can you imagine that? And I still remember she came and she brought one of her, I think, roomies or something along. And the whole plan was to take me back home and have like a like a devil's three, a tricycle basically. Oh man, yeah. So yeah, I still remember it was an amazing time with her. I think she's moved abroad somewhere now, and she's not married for all I know. What I know. Next one is another beautiful lady I met, who I connected in terms of my soul in one of my first organizations. We went to a date to a metal gig. I still remember this one. We went to a metal gig, saw the gig. She was Christian, and we went to see like a death metal band, full satanic imagery. She fucked with her head. And then at the end of the gig, we went and we hung out outside. 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, we were hanging out outside the Levi's store in Indiranagar, sitting outside the stairs, talking about like God knows what not. She's big into traveling. And then it's like, she's like, I want to go home. I'm like, cool, carry on. Gets an auto. No, there's no booking and all back then. Gets an auto and she's like, come home with me. The facepalm moment, because I was like, no, you carry on. I'll see you in the office. And she's giving me a look like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, carry on. This was during the beginning days. So I still remember I'm going back home, and as I'm going back home, I'm like, why didn't she come home with me? I'm stuck in that, like, why didn't she come home with me? What did I do wrong? And then, like this voice from inside, Shansha voice, you fucking idiot, she called you home. Oh, she did speak to me after that. I can tell you that she did. But if you're listening to this, Nun, I used to call her Nun to tease her. If you're listening to this, I hope you're really doing well. I think I'm gonna stop right here and use the next episode to just talk about these anecdotes and a few philosophies, or maybe I can do like 5 more. Yeah, let me do 5 more. I'm totally in the zone right now. I'll do 5 more. The next lady, I remember meeting her at a barbecue I hosted at my place. Another friend, she brought her over. And dude, we made such a crazy connection. Like, she was a big fan of Krishna, and at that point of time, I was exploring the Krishna consciousness and the Pleiadian consciousness and the cosmic DNA and stuff like that. So I connected with her on that level, like I used to think of myself as Krishna, and she was like Radha type. Radha ke se na jale, Radha ke se na jale, isliye Radha jale, isliye Radha jale, isliye Radha jale. I still remember it didn't work out because I didn't ask her out and tell her I want you to be my girlfriend. I should have. Ideally, I should have told her, like, I want you to be mine for a while. For as long as we can explore each other, I want you to be mine. Should have done that. Because I remember that it was a very strong bond. Like, what I'd felt, something else. It was amazing. I still remember she came for another house party after that. We were on the terrace, cuddling. It was cold as fuck on the floor. It was great. Yeah. Didn't work out, unfortunately. And this lady and the blondie lady have the same first name. Both of them are super skinny and dark skin. Not dark skin, but brown skin. Delicious brown skin. The next two are my crushes from school. My first crush, 5th grade. She was only in my school till 5th grade. Till today, I've not been able to find her anywhere online. It's almost as if she never existed. But I know she did because she had best friends, and I'm in touch with her best friends, and her best friends have said, yeah, she existed. I mean, her best friends from then. She was my first crush, and for some reason, until I don't think I'm gonna get closure on this one, it's gonna haunt me till the day I die. I know for a fact. Because I'm 25 now. This happened when I was 9, when I was 8. That's 12, 16, 17 years ago. I think. My math sucks. 17 years ago, I think. Yeah, it was 24, yeah, 17 years ago. But I still remember her face super clearly in front of me. Like, she had this diamond face, super fucking skinny eyebrows, short hair, bob cut. And I think she was from Singapore. Anyways. Then another crush I had in 8th grade. Oh man, she was one of probably the strongest crushes I've had as a young person in school. Probably the strongest crush I've had in school. Even the girlfriend I had in 9th grade, I didn't have so much of a strong thing with. But yeah, anyways. I still remember it didn't work out. I have no idea. I was also not very self-confident at that point of time. So it was, if I look back right now, I think it's because of that thing came out as a little desperate from my end. Not judging myself as a kid. I mean, I was a fucking kid, dude. I wouldn't know shit. But now that I do know shit, ideally, I think it became a little desperate from my end. But yeah, it's still very strong. I mean, the lady's married and all, but whatever. I'm not the kind of guy, who would break marriages up, but like I told you in the beginning, it doesn't matter, dude, who the fuck it is, where she is, dead, alive. That feeling remains, right? But in tomorrow's episode, I will talk a little bit more about. You must be like, oh, bro, if you had feelings for everyone, it was so strong, then why aren't they your girlfriend still? And I'll get to that in tomorrow's continuity. The next lady is this amazing. She was this pataka dude, like a firecracker. And we had a great, I would say we had a great time. And I'm pretty sure she would absolutely agree with it, because I was probably her second boyfriend, and much older, like 3 years, 4 years older to her at that point of time. I was in 11th. Amazing. It was an amazing time. She was amazing. She was very in touch with her desires, which is what I really, really respected about her. Most people would tell themselves, I don't have that feeling, but she was very much in touch with that. And even today, the whole breakup, I didn't handle the breakup very well. She called me up and she was like, dude, my dad found out about us and he wants me to break up. And I said, okay. I should have dealt with that. I should have been like, fuck your dad, screw that piece of shit, you're mine. But then again, I didn't know better. This was before I started pickup, learning game. So I don't blame myself at all. But it was a really strong feeling for her. And it was definitely, she went to great lengths to meet me, even though her parents were absolute fucking Nazi level assholes. Dude, I think there's so many stories. I've lost energy. There's another one, 11th and 12th grade. I remember dating one of my juniors. 12th grade, dating one of my juniors, and then breaking up with her because one of my batchmates who I had a big crush on, she started liking me, and she was the one I had the original crush on. So yeah, that was something that happened in my 12th grade. I was she was my girlfriend in 12th grade, the lady I was dating after, we may not have connected on a philosophical level or on a vision level or on a spiritual level, but we connected on an intimate level like crazy. So yeah, that was great. It was a great relationship. Then I remember in 12th grade again, just after again, I broke up with that lady in 12th because boards, and people wanted to focus on boards and stuff. And the best part is I met this lady much after, I think 3 years after. She lived quite close to my home, and next to her home was this place, this function hall that my family used to go to. So one day I used to take this shortcut from home to go to that function hall, and I'm going to this function hall, and there's this sweet shop, and I see this lady walking up, and I'm like, dude, this reminds me of that lady, my girlfriend from 12th grade. And the sweet shop was basically like, it's on the ground floor. The sweet shop's on the first floor, we're on the ground floor, and the staircase is like, it's facing me. So whoever's climbing up the staircase has to face me. So this lady was walking towards the staircase. As she turned around to climb up, I'm like, it's her. She looked much older. She looked like 10 years older. I think because she was doing a very difficult curriculum. So I can imagine the toll it must have taken. And she was going through a bad time with her parents as well. So I can understand. And I just went and gave her a hug in that sweet shop, and she was so freaked out. She was frozen. She was like, I still remember that. It's beautiful. Apart from this, there was another lady who I dated, after I broke up with that girlfriend of mine. She was not dated, okay. I didn't date her at all, but we had a small fling going on for like, I think a month, maybe 2 months. She was in another school. She came to my school and she saw me play Enter Sandman, and I was on bass and singing. It was an amazing gig. Pratik and Abhishek, if you boys, Sange and me fucking killed it on stage that day. That was my bass line. I still remember it. So yeah, this lady, basically I was in the canteen, and I remember one of the juniors came up, a very young chap came up to me, and he's like, bro, there's this girl who wants to talk to you. And I look, and she's standing there, and I'm like, okay, you can ask her to come talk to me. And she's like, no, she wants you to come talk to her. I said, Arpit, that's not happening. I was buying an ice cream at that point in time. I gave him the ice cream. I'm like, bro, give it to her. Till I said hi. And then I walked away. And then we connect. Like that day, it was very shy and awkward, she was. But we connected over chat, and she came home, and we had an amazing session together. And even now, I think we just reconnected a while back. It was good. But then again, it was more of a, when we meet, it's going to be great, but we know for a fact we're not meant for each other. Last one. Last one for this night. This was in college, again, before my game and stuff like that. And I wasn't very well groomed in college. I had this long, bushy hair, fat. I was really fat and stuff. See how I judge myself, right? How I judge myself with that one sentence. Fuck. Anyway, I still remember this is one session. We're all sitting randomly. There's the juniors. My batch juniors are giving some demonstration or presentation, and I'm chatting with a friend, and suddenly I hear my name. I look up, and there's this lady, one of my juniors. She's there, and she calls me on stage, and she gives me a rose, and I start blushing. I start freaking out. After I dropped out, once I went to college again just to, I think, talk to my HOD, and I met this lady again there, and I'm like, come, let's go for a walk. Went for a walk. We went to Fanus. We had beef. And in the entire conversation, again, not to judge her, right? I was big into her, right? But I didn't know what the fuck, how do you escalate? How do you tell someone, like, this is before Sasha, so you can imagine, before Alex. So I didn't know how to escalate, how to, like, convert, how to tell her, like, I fucking like you. I was take her to Fanus. We order food, and throughout the entire conversation, I'm asking her, where do you stay? And she's telling me, I stay alone, I stay at home, my dad's got me a place, it's close by, we can go. And she was way older to me. I was 19 or 18 at that point, 18 or 19. She was like 22, 23. Much after, right? Like maybe 2 years after, when I started following her on Instagram, she was a boudoir model. I'm not sure if I'm saying that word right, but she was a boudoir model, like a proper, like a goddess. And I'm seeing that, and I'm like, she had a crush on me. Oh my god. She also, I think, just got married recently in another country. And I was like, fuck, this happened. So it's another one of my big regrets, like it would have been absolutely fantastic. I can already tell you. And in this situation, I can't say, I love this woman, same feelings, because I didn't know. But it was great. It was a life. It taught me a lot. Like I was telling you, 5 things that Sasha taught me, that women are horny as well. I knew it. Like, again, dude, it's not like if you're horny, you're a less competent human being or a less of a human being. In fact, if you're horny, you are more of a human being than the people who say, I'm not horny. They were born because their mom and dad were horny. Their mom and dad were born because their mom and dad were horny. So, anyway, I think we have just reached 11. There's 29 more to go, which we will do tomorrow. I really hope you've had fun with this one. This is me just letting loose, being myself, being open and honest. Because this is who I was, and this is who I am, and this is who I've been telling myself for the last 1.5 years that I'm not, even though this is who I am at my core. We're going to continue this one tomorrow. I hope this was an exciting podcast, because for me, it was really difficult for me to keep a calm, controlled energies. In this one, I was just... I would like to thank you for staying with me for so long. Girl, boy, it doesn't matter who you are. What I want to tell you is, it's in our DNA to experience love with the gender or the sexual orientation that we are attracted to. Homosexual, heterosexual, transsexual, doesn't matter. It's in our human DNA to share intimacy with the other person, to have a life partner, to grow with the other gender. It's in our DNA to do that. So if anyone has ever told you otherwise, and I'm telling this to myself, Anway, if you're listening to this podcast ever again, maybe a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, I want you to remember, even maybe 2 weeks, 3 months from now, I want you to remember, bro, and to the other men and women who are listening to this, I want you to remember that there's no one who can decide how we want to experience love and with whom we want to experience love and how we go about doing it. As long as the other person's consenting and as long as you understand the other person, it's all fair. And the other person wants it 10 times more than you do. Remember that. I'm going to call it a night here. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got a lot of work to finish. That's the only reason I want to call it a night. Otherwise, I would have done it a one full podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're cuddling with someone right now, or I hope this has made you realize that life is the greatest high that we can have is cuddling with someone. Sense of touching the skin with someone else. Oof, it's nothing like it. Anyways, thank you for joining me. Have a good night ahead. Sleep tight. This is Anway Pramanik signing off for another episode of Early Nights with Anway Pramanik.